Darren Fahey, New South Wales Department of Primary Industries. I'm the Viticulture Development Officer here at OAI, and today we'll be talking about recovery from bushfire impacts. If you've had a bushfire go through your vineyard, you would know that there's many different ways you can assess your vines, and it'll depend on the severity of the bushfire and where it's come from, the direction, how long it's lasted, the radiant heat itself, and you'll need to have a look at the damage from a systematic approach, and that would be going through, assessing each vine, possibly putting a colour coding to the vines in the block, and then you can work on ones that have been most affected right up to vines that haven't been impacted at all. And that way you can direct your energies and your finances towards those vines. Good to get out there immediately and do some assessments, and then coming back after some time, given the vines may have had some water or rainfall post bushfire event, and reassessing those vines to determine what type of course of action to take. Irrigation is obviously most important after the bushfire event, and that is to help keep the vines functioning, but also to push out any new growth from that irrigation. If you have been impacted by bushfire, that would be one of the most important things you could do straight away. The main way to see the damage, obviously if you have been impacted, you would have scorched leaves and burnt bark, but you would need to take a cutting of the cambium on the trunk and have a look underneath the bark to see what the colour of that wood is like. Hopefully, if it's been a less impact, you would still have white to green vascular tissue underneath the bark, but if you've got browning and black spotting, you probably have lost that vine, and that will depend on the direction of the fire around the trunk. If the fire's just moved from one side and you've cut that side off, you want to chase it around a little bit to see what it's like around the other side as well. But again, still best to reassess after some irrigation and some rainfall to see what actually does flush up. If it has been severely impacted, growers should take into consideration the vineyard recovery from a uniformity perspective, and that's dealing with vines that are either recovering or whether you would go through and regrow or replant that particular vineyard. And this is just because that variation in yield and management over the coming years. We're talking a 2 to 3 year process for recovery of these vineyard sites.